Way back in the late 19th century, two of the greatest minds on the planet went to war. Now, you've got a household name, the King of Invention, on one side, and on the other, a forgotten genius. Their battle wasn't fought with armies, but with ideas. And the prize was literally the future itself, how we would power the entire modern world.
You see, it all started, as so many great rivalries do, with a partnership. Before Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison were enemies, they were colleagues, working side by side in Edison's super busy New York lab. And that simple fact, right there, that's the key to understanding the betrayal and the epic battle that was about to unfold.
So, to really get this story, we're going to follow a pretty clear timeline. It all kicks off with this fateful meeting in 1884. Builds to a huge public spectacle in 1893, and hits its peak with a world-changing project in 1896. And it all wraps up with a quiet, kind of tragic ending in 1943. All right, let's set the scene. It's 1884. A brilliant 28-year-old Serbian inventor, Nikola Tesla. He shows up in New York City. He's got barely any money, but he does have a letter of introduction to the most famous inventor in America, Thomas Edison. Edison was so impressed, he hired him on the spot. Now, at the time, Edison had a pretty big problem. His amazing direct current generators, well, they were inefficient and they were constantly breaking down. Seeing how brilliant Tesla was, Edison made him an offer he couldn't refuse. Completely redesign the generators, and you'll get $50,000. I mean, that was an almost unbelievable amount of money back in the 1880s. So Tesla, he just threw himself into the work. We're talking day and night for months. And he did it. He dramatically improved Edison's system. But when Tesla went to get his reward, Edison just laughed. He dismissed that $50,000 promise as just some American humor that Tesla, the foreigner, didn't get. He never paid him a single cent. A betrayed and absolutely furious Tesla quit that very day. The partnership was over, and the stage was set for the War of Currents. But look, this wasn't just about a broken promise or the money. It was a fundamental clash of visions for how electricity was going to shape the future. Edison had built his entire empire on one kind of electrical current, and now Tesla, his former employee, was about to champion a revolutionary new idea that threatened to make it all totally obsolete. So, what was the actual technology that was at the heart of this huge fight? Well, it really boils down to two completely different ways of delivering electrical power. Okay, so first up, you have Edison's system direct current, or DC. Just think of it like water flowing steadily in one direction through a pipe. It worked great for lighting up a few city blocks, but it was incredibly inefficient over any real distance. The power just faded out super fast. That meant you'd need a loud, smoky power station every couple of kilometers just to keep the lights on. This wasn't just a small problem, it was a huge barrier to electrifying the whole country. And then you have Tesla's radical alternative, alternating current, or AC. In this system, the electricity is constantly and rapidly switching direction. But the real genius of AC is how it works with a device called a transformer. This let you step up the voltage to incredibly high levels, sending power for hundreds of kilometers with almost no energy loss, and then step it down at the other end to a safe voltage for homes and factories. It was a total game changer. When you put them side by side like this, the difference is it's night and day. Edison's DC meant a future with messy, expensive, limited local power grids. Tesla's AC promised a clean, efficient future where one single, powerful station could light up a massive area. One system was basically an evolutionary dead end. The other was the blueprint for our entire modern world. Now, Edison was a brilliant inventor, no doubt, but he was also a ruthless businessman. He knew AC was the better tech, but with his whole fortune and reputation tied up in DC patents, he wasn't about to give up. So if he couldn't win on science, he was going to try to win with fear. He launched one of the nastiest smear campaigns in the history of science. To prove AC was deadly, he held these horrifying public shows where he'd electrocute stray animals with high-voltage AC. But he went even further. Edison secretly worked with New York State to help them develop the first electric chair, making absolutely sure it was powered by alternating current. His goal was to burn the word electrocution into the public's mind and have them forever connect it to Tesla's technology. Edison's campaign was brutal, and yeah, it worked for a while. It definitely stoked public fear. But here's the thing. You can manipulate public opinion, but you can't change the laws of physics. No amount of propaganda could change the fact that AC was just better.
So while Edison was busy with his fear campaign, Tesla, who was now backed by the industrialist George Westinghouse, was getting ready to show the world the true, beautiful power of alternating current. The big turning point came in 1893. Westinghouse and Tesla beat Edison to win the huge contract to light up the Chicago World's Fair. And that year, their AC system turned the massive fairgrounds into this breathtaking sea of light, all powered by dozen giant generators. Millions of people saw it, and they were just blown away. It was a massive, undeniable public win for AC. But the final knockout blow came 3 years later in 1896. Tesla and Westinghouse finished this unbelievably ambitious project, the first major hydroelectric power plant at Niagara Falls. For the very first time, the insane power of the falls was captured, turned into AC power, and sent a full 26 miles away to light up the entire city of Buffalo, New York. This completely shuttered Edison's 2-kilometer limit and proved once and for all that AC was the future. The war of currents? It was over. Tesla had won. The world wouldn't be powered by a dirty, inefficient patchwork of local stations. It was going to be powered by Tesla's elegant vision, these huge, interconnected AC grids spanning entire continents. So, Tesla's system became the global standard. It is literally the foundation of the electrical grid we still use today. He gave the world its power. He should have been celebrated as one of the greatest heroes in history. But his story has one last tragic twist. So what happened to the man who single-handedly electrified the planet? After this world-changing victory, what was his ultimate reward? On January 7, 1943, Nikola Tesla was found dead in his room at the New Yorker Hotel. He was 86 years old. While other people, like Edison and Westinghouse, got incredibly rich from his inventions, Tesla, who was a brilliant inventor but a terrible businessman, died with almost no money to his name. He spent his last years basically forgotten, feeding pigeons and dreaming of even bigger things. Just take a moment and look around you right now. The light in your room, the charge in your phone, the entire invisible system that runs our civilization, it all pulses with the alternating current that Nikola Tesla imagined and fought for. He gave us the modern age, an achievement that's almost too big to comprehend. And for decades, history basically wrote him out of the story. It's a haunting thought, and it leaves you with a final question. How many other geniuses whose work we rely on every single day have we also just forgotten?